You swipe right and get a match. You message them first because you want to show initiative. You wait for a response. The reality is that all of these cultural forces have created a perfect storm where meeting someone and building a relationship is more challenging than ever, and it's going to take a very intentional effort to navigate it. But by understanding what's happening, you can be ahead of the curve. In this video, we will cover 3 reasons why dating feels impossible in 2025. Number 1. The world is getting too comfortable with loneliness. Number 2. Everyone is being triggered into ghosting. And number 3. Women are more independent and less willing to rely on men. We will then provide you with 5 steps to fix it so you don't fall behind. Number 1. The world is getting too comfortable with loneliness. Loneliness is a powerful motivator. In fact, scientists believe that the feeling of loneliness is one of the most fundamental human needs. But the problem is that society has become too comfortable with it. For example, over the past decade, Americans have been spending less time with friends and family, working longer hours, and getting less sleep. Not only that, but people are also becoming increasingly isolated at home. When asked why they didn't reach out to friends, 35% of Americans responded, "I don't feel like it." A further 25% said their friends are too busy. These numbers are even higher among Gen Z. In fact, a study found that 45% of Gen Z spends more time with online friends than real-life friends. This might have been fine 20 years ago when the internet was just a novelty. But today, studies show that prolonged loneliness can lead to anxiety, depression, poor physical health, and even death. So everyone is starting to realize that being alone isn't sustainable in the long term. However, finding an alternative source of belonging is easier said than done. Look around you. The best way to make new friends is through shared activities and experiences. But what do people spend most of their time doing today? Sitting at home, staring at a screen. One study found that Netflix alone is responsible for a 73% increase in nighttime depression. This is a massive issue because nothing worthwhile comes easy. People are growing accustomed to the dopamine rush of instant gratification, and it's slowly killing our ability to forge real connections. Take a moment to think about it. What do you see on dating apps today? Superficial profiles that are designed to give users a dopamine hit, rather than find a meaningful connection. Profiles filled with half-naked selfies and provocative captions. Profiles that celebrate superficial traits like wealth and status. The reality is that if you're looking for something deeper, you need to look beyond the surface. But here's the harsh truth. Most people aren't willing to do that. They're addicted to the dopamine hit of endless swiping. They crave the validation of likes and matches, but they're unwilling to invest in building actual relationships. Here's the thing, you might think that you're wasting time swiping on these apps, but you're actually training your brain to lose its ability to form deep connections. You're desensitizing yourself to the discomfort of vulnerability and the awkwardness of real human interaction. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather spend an hour scrolling through Tinder, or have a challenging conversation with someone that could lead to a meaningful relationship? It's not a trick question. The answer is the uncomfortable conversation. Even though it might feel scary and awkward at first, it's an investment in your future happiness. Real connections are the key to success in life. We know it. Yet we've allowed technology to slowly erode our ability to form them. It's time to take back control and prioritize forming real connections over the artificial ones on dating apps. Number 2. Everyone is being triggered into ghosting. Ghosting has become the norm in modern dating, leaving many people feeling confused, anxious, and unwanted. So why is everyone doing it? Well, let's start with the basics. Ghosting is when someone you've been dating suddenly cuts off all communication without any explanation. And while it might seem like a harmless way to end things, it can have a devastating impact on your mental health and well-being. So why is this happening? Well, it starts with the rise of social media. Ghosting is when someone you've been dating suddenly cuts off all communication without any explanation. And while it might seem like a harmless way to end things, it can have a devastating impact on your mental health and well-being. So why is this happening? Well, it starts with the rise of social media. As we mentioned earlier, people have become accustomed to the instant gratification and validation that social media provides. They seek quick hits of dopamine from likes and comments instead of investing time in building meaningful connections. This lack of patience extends to dating as well, where people expect immediate responses and perfect matches. When things don't move fast enough, or when they encounter the slightest inconvenience, they're quick to give up. On top of that, the hookup culture has also contributed to this trend. With casual flings and hookups on the rise, people are less likely to invest in a relationship that doesn't have the potential for something more. This lack of commitment and emotional investment creates a cycle of ghosting. People are willing to jump from one fleeting connection to the next, but they're unwilling to put in the work required to build something lasting. It's important to remember that ghosting is not just a dating issue. It's a reflection of a larger societal trend towards superficiality and instant gratification. People are losing their ability to form deep connections and are settling for quick hits of dopamine instead. This trend has been exacerbated by the rise of social media and hookup culture, which have eroded our patience and lowered our expectations for relationships. So until society addresses these underlying issues, ghosting is likely to remain a common occurrence in our dating lives. Number 3. Women are more independent and less willing to rely on men. Women are no longer looking for a man to complete them. They've realized that they are whole and complete individuals who don't need anyone to validate their worth. Thanks to increased access to education and career opportunities, women today are more financially independent than ever before. They no longer need to rely on a man for financial support and can support themselves and even their families if necessary. Not only that, but women are also more emotionally independent than ever before. They have strong support systems in place, whether it's their friends, family, or therapists. They no longer feel the need to rely on a man for emotional support or validation. Furthermore, women today have higher standards when it comes to relationships. They know what they want and aren't afraid to walk away from someone who doesn't meet their standards. They're also more willing to compromise on superficial traits like status and wealth and instead prioritize things like kindness, intelligence, and ambition. Lastly, women today are more sexually liberated than ever before. They're more comfortable with their sexuality and are less willing to settle for someone who doesn't respect their boundaries or desires. They're also more open to exploring different sexual experiences and aren't afraid to communicate their needs and wants to their partners. Overall, women today are more independent and less willing to rely on men for financial, emotional, or sexual support. They have higher standards for relationships and are more sexually liberated, which means that men need to step up their game if they want to attract and keep a high-quality woman. So what can you do to fix this? Here are 5 concrete steps you can take to ensure that you don't fall behind. Number 1. Invest in yourself. Your appearance, lifestyle, and overall vibe should reflect your character. Instead of trying to be someone you're not, embrace your uniqueness and let your personality shine through. Number 2. Be direct and assertive. Don't play games or try to be too clever. Instead, be honest about your intentions and respect other people's boundaries. Number 3. Focus on building deep connections. Go beyond small talk and ask meaningful questions. Be vulnerable and open with others, and be willing to listen and empathize with their experiences. Number 4. Be patient and persistent. Building trust and rapport takes time. Don't get discouraged if things don't happen overnight. Stay positive and keep putting in the effort. Number 5. Be confident but not arrogant. Confidence is key, but it's important not to come across as overbearing or self-obsessed. Stay humble and be willing to learn from others. By following these steps, you can set yourself apart from the crowd and increase your chances of finding success in dating and relationships. Remember, it's not about conforming to societal expectations or playing into stereotypes. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and embracing the journey towards finding love and happiness. Comment your thoughts on this video and subscribe for more by